Hey everyone, welcome to Love Your Body Podcast. On today's episode, we have one of my favorite clients and ambassadors, Loraine, who all of you, if you follow my Instagram, have seen her and her son, her and her husband, her just working, just fighting for what she wants, loving her body throughout. Um, Today, Loraine, I wanted to go through a little bit with everybody, just kind of your journey, just how you found Dandy Fitness, like how you started your healthy lifestyle journey, just all of that. So go into
Okay.
it.
We actually kind of second met
Mhm.
at the Murfreesboro Find Your Fit Festival.
Awesome, love that.
It,
Fountains.
right.
Yep.
It was awesome. It was a great event. And then
Mhm.
I also got to kind of watch you talk to other people and interact with your clients.
Mhm.
And your mom. And so it kind of gave me an insight,
Mhm.
I think more into who you were and what you stood for. And I was really impressed. And
Aw.
so then I reached out to you, told you kind of what was going on with me and where I wanted to go.
Mhm.
And so we,
That was in what was it, 2018?
yeah, it's been
Yeah.
almost 4 years.
Yeah, so almost 4 years of just I mean, like everyone has seen, but you have just completely changed your lifestyle. I mean, everything from mindset to body to, clothes, just like everything about you. And
Yeah.
for me, it is, I don't like to use the word like, "Oh, it was so inspirational to, like, watch you." You know what I mean? Like, whatever. It was real.
Right.
It was a real journey, and
Yeah.
that's what's cool. I think that's why people are really, like, taking to it and being like, "Oh my gosh, like, this is incredible because of all the hard work you've put in," you know? So I mean, you saw me pretty much you've consistently seen me for, like, once a week at least?
Once a week.
Yeah.
And then we've done several times, we've done some written plans. I'm on a written
Yep.
plan now. So pretty much consistently
Yeah.
doing something DDF
Right.
for 4 years.
And my whole thing was that I don't take my ambassadorships lightly, and you know what I mean? Like, when I ask people to come, people are like, "Who you have ambassadors?" But, like, guys, I put on fitness events, so it's like when we have Move Fit and stuff, like, there's just a lot to go on, and, like, back in the day, it was, like, just me and then, like, me and my mom, like, setting up stuff, you know? And even that Find Your Fit that you, like, were at, like, I don't even know, we maybe had, like, a couple people that helped, like, my dad came out, I think, for that one, but, I mean, there was, like, not a lot of people that helped, and when you put on huge events and stuff, it's like, you need those people there. And what better example than someone who is actually another person living a healthy lifestyle? You are a mom, you are a full-time, you work full-time, you know what I mean? You continually are doing all these things where, like, there are no excuses,
Right.
to say, like, oh yeah, she just, like, is somebody that stands there and, looks pretty and says good things about Nanny Fitness. You know what I mean? Like, you do look pretty, but, like, you actually, like, have a story. And I think that's so important. And that means the world to me. So I guess my thing is like before you had met me, in terms of health and fitness, like, why was it not present? Why, you know what I mean, in your life?
I had had some trauma that I went through,
Mhm.
and after that trauma, I kind of dealt with that with food.
Okay.
That was my comfort, and so when my sister got engaged, I kind of had a Rob Kardashian moment, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh my god, I don't want to not be in the pictures because I don't feel good about myself."
Right.
And so that's really when I kind of started working out there.
Okay.
I started with movement, and
Yes.
then kind of started changing my food,
Yeah.
and then I move forward with the movement instead of
Yeah.
doing, more aerobic kind of things, want to do
Right.
more strength training. And so that's kind of how
Yeah.
we ended up
Yeah,
here.
connecting.
Yeah.
So, yeah, because we were training it back at the Franklin studio, before we went to Nashville. And again, and, guys, for those of you that don't know, Loraine lives out in, like, Manchester. So, and for people that aren't from here, like, that's a pretty far away. Like, it takes her a long time to, like, get to her workout. And that's something that I'm blessed with having clients who prioritize it. I mean, and I was the same way. Like with Matt, I mean, I get stuck in traffic. It take me 2 hours to get to my workout.
Right.
And, like, he knew, like, "Hey, I'm probably gonna be late, like, whatever, I'm gonna try to leave early." Like, it's just and it was one of those things that, like, yeah, I could have literally gone to the gym right down the road and saved myself that nonsense, whatever, but I was just like, I just have more fun. Like, I like having a train, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and I feel that with you, and it is one of those where it's like, it's just different. And so if for everyone listening, can you kind of explain, like, with having a personal trainer, what, like, if they're just like, "Oh, it's not really different," like, how would you explain that it's different?
So one of the biggest things I think is knowing how to have proper form.
Mhm.
Because if you don't have proper form, those movements that you're doing aren't going to really work. They're not
Right.
doing anything. So that was a huge thing for me. And I think that now I'm kind of a snob about form, and
Yes.
I go to the gym and I tell you like, oh my God, this person's form was so bad, and I
Yeah.
wanted to correct them, but that's
Right.
rude. So that's like one of the biggest things. And the accountability.
Mhm.
You have somebody that's there that you can talk to, that can
Right.
check on you. And one of the biggest things with you for me
Mhm.
has been that being able to talk to you and be real and
Right.
have similar experiences where,
Mhm.
you've dealt with weight issues. It's
Yep.
not just been skinny your whole life. So
Right.
that's been a big deal.
I love that. And, so, in terms of the food and everything, because I know that was really the hardest part. Because I know for, like, 2 years of it, you were pretty consistent with losing weight and feeling, good in your body, getting more confident, right? And then there was a kind of a plateau moment,
Mhm.
okay? So and you were still working out, you're still doing but, like, where do you think was kind of the shift in all that?
Like the shift from the bad to the good.
Yeah. Yes.
I kind of feel like we got worse before I got better.
Yeah.
I had a lot of stuff going on personally. Like my
Mhm.
job was like super stressing me out.
Yep.
And I did plateau. I wasn't
Mhm.
moving, even though I was like, 90% of the time
Yeah.
doing what I was supposed to do.
Yep.
And so I was like, I really, we talked about it and I was like,
Mhm.
I need to figure out why I'm doing this. I felt like it was
Yeah.
self sabotage.
Right.
And so I sought out a therapist and
Mhm.
started working on myself
I
and
love that.
figured all that out and got to the root of, kind of the root of my issues and
Okay.
figured out, why food was a comfort and how to deal with it. And once I did that, it was so much easier.
Yep.
And then I still kind of stayed at a plateau.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And from there, with that, what was kind of I guess, did you feel like you had exhausted all options?
Yeah, I mean, at that point, I had been working out
Mhm.
steadily for 2.5 years,
Yep.
eating correctly for 2.5 years, and I was staying in the same 20-pound
Yeah.
range. I wasn't really losing weight. It didn't matter what we really did,
Yeah.
what we changed,
Mhm.
and it wasn't moving. And I was feeling very defeated.
Yeah.
And so I had a really good friend that had gastric bypass.
Mhm.
We had similar body issues, similar food issues,
Yeah.
and she was like, "Look, you really need to look into this. I think it would really work for you." I had, been with her through her journey.
Right.
And so I did. I
Yeah.
I made that leap.
Mhm.
And it is a leap because it's super scary.
Yeah.
Um, and so I reached out to Vanderbilt Weight Loss
Mhm.
and Dr. English and went
Yeah.
forward with it,
Yeah.
which was one of probably the most frightening things I've ever done because it,
Yeah.
it is a major surgery.
Do you feel yes, for sure. Do you feel like because of the surgery, then afterwards, because you are only allowed to, like, take in so many things with food, like, to
Mm.
consume because of, like, again, you with your stomach being smaller and, like, just with everything that they did, like, do you feel as if it helped you like, that was the main thing that helped you with your eating, or do you think that all the work beforehand led you to led with that help of that? Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely all the work beforehand.
Mhm.
I'm part of several bariatric groups,
Mhm.
and you can really tell the difference of the people who put in work before and
Yes.
versus the people who just kind of went into the surgery and then
Yep.
afterward tried to change their food.
Right.
It becomes a lot harder
Yeah.
because you haven't,
It's like 0 to 100.
right.
Yeah.
So it definitely was a big,
Okay.
big part of my success.
Good. I'm glad to hear that because again, for me, it's like I've worked with clients who've had this surgery who came to me after. I've had clients who've come to me before. You know what I mean? Like I've had
Right.
like everything. And so, it is very upsetting for them because they're just like, I'm losing all this weight, but I have no muscle. And then I have this excess and then they have to have more surgeries. And then it's like, it just becomes this ripple effect,
Right.
And they're like, I wish I would just done this before. And I'm like, yeah, like, I wish you would have too. Like, I wish you would have sought somebody out. And so I think that's where, like, we've talked on the podcast before with other guests and stuff, like how the mindset which wasn't right when they made the choice to do it. I do think that you were well prepared. You asked all the right questions. You talked to so many people. You were in those groups. You kind of knew what to expect. And so far, since that's happened, because you got that, when was that you got done?
It's been 11 months. It'll be a year next month.
I can't believe that time is
I know.
just going crazy right now. So it's been almost a year. And any complications, anything that you've been worried about, anything like, just
No complications.
okay.
No. Probably my biggest, what I tell people when they're like, "Oh, what was it like? How bad was it?" My experience was not bad.
Okay.
The worst part was probably the first 3 months
Uh-huh.
after surgery. I pretty much was nauseous all the time.
Ugh, yeah.
I compare it to like when I was pregnant.
Okay.
But you kind of every day it got a little bit better and a little
Yeah.
bit better. So
Okay.
no
Yeah,
complications.
which is great. Knock on something.
Right.
Yeah, that's good. I'm so glad. And we continued with movement. You and your son Aiden, who's great, who y'all probably see on my Instagram stories dancing around and being silly. He comes in with you and everything, which I think is again setting such a strong example. I know y'all really cherish that time together. And it takes a close group to, close family do that. I've never had I mean, honestly, never. I think I've had a couple clients do that where it's a male or it's a son and a mom, but most would not work out together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It'd be two totally separate workouts, and then they're just like whatever. You know what I mean? Or they're like in a whole nother room within their coach and the other thing. So I really love that about you guys. So moving forward, with everything, now with your job, like you feel like your stress is better with it, just with your family life, just everything like that. Like, do you feel like have you had a lot of like negativity after the surgery with how like much you've lost? Like, have you dealt with any negative comments? Like, because I'm preparing for this bodybuilding show, and we've talked about that before of how, I think we both have said it that like, we know we're pretty, like we know we look great. Like, we've always known that no matter if we're, if you're 300 pounds or if you're
Right.
150 or whatever, it's one of those things where it's like, we always had that, but the way that people have treated me has kind of shifted a little bit. And then as I lose the weight, again, you're married, so you're lucky on that end of the things. But do you feel that at all? Like, is there?
I've only really had one negative comment
Okay.
since it started. And that was like, okay, it's time to stop losing weight.
Okay.
But I haven't. I was
Mhm.
prepared for it.
Yeah.
We even talked about,
Mhm.
what those responses would be. I also, when people ask me,
Yeah.
I had a lady at the Dollar General, the manager at the Dollar General, ask me, "Hey, did you have surgery? Because you look
Yeah.
way different."
Yeah.
And I know that some people would be really offended by that, but I'm not.
That's great.
I'm like, yes, let me tell you what I did. I
Exactly.
started with this and I had a personal trainer.
Right.
And
I love that. And I think that is so great because you're being open about it and you're just talking about it. And again, kind of getting that negative stereotype of like, we talked about with Harley about like, oh, you gave up and like this was like what you did. You
yeah,
see what I mean? You know what I mean? Because it's actually the opposite is how I view it. Like you have to be very strong to go into it with the right mindset because I've also known people who go into it, have surgery, and then like they put all the weight back on.
right.
And, so again, that wasn't a lifestyle. That wasn't a realistic healthy lifestyle regimen. So what we have done, especially with Dandy Fitness, is created that realistic healthy lifestyle regimen where you don't feel deprived, where you feel like there's a balance, where you can enjoy your life, go do things, but also get your movement in, like, and do it with your family. And so it's just again, it's I am very proud of all of my clients, but I'm very proud of you in taking that initiative because especially in a world right now where a lot of women are always apologizing and they're always saying, I'm sorry for everything that they do. You made yourself a priority after years of not. And to tell some listeners that maybe are moms as well, or just, girls that are coming out on their own or whatever, that like how making yourself a priority, like how you feel right now.
I So as a mom, you always think of your kids first, and that's how you get in this situation where you
Yeah.
have nothing left because you've given it all to them.
Mhm.
This has really made a huge difference in my kids.
Mhm.
They see me different.
Yeah.
Like you said, Aiden works out with me now.
Yeah.
I always tried not to talk about my weight in front of my kids before, but they are like so proud of me. Aiden is probably one of my
Hype
biggest.
man.
Yeah, he
Yes.
really is.
And that's so great. And he's 16 and he, and
Yeah.
it's awesome. I love to see that.
Yeah, and so I mean, physically though, like
Mhm.
I feel like I have so much more to offer them.
Yes.
You know, you always hear people say, "Oh, I feel like I can get down and like rustle and tumble with my kids and
Yeah.
keep up with them now." And I guess it's like that. Mine aren't little anymore. So,
Right.
but yeah, I mean, I feel good. I feel confident when I meet
Yeah.
their friends and like they are not going to be ashamed of me. You know, I don't want a
Yeah.
Gilbert Grape situation.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I know that's gotta be hard for a lot of women because you're already dealing with so much, and then you're raising a family, and then you're making dinner, you're doing all these things, obviously stereotypical saying what most women have always done for the history of everything. But, again, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't find it, and again, I'm not in the situation you are, but, like, I don't find it selfish. I
Right.
think it's helping. It has only helped everything. It's helped your relationships, helped your dynamic with your son. It has helped your work life balance. It has
Mhm.
helped so many things. And again, like that setting the example, that is what's been so key. And I know that people that probably you don't even know are watching you right now being like, oh my gosh, like if like she's doing this and like I've always wanted to do it, like I know I can do this,
Right.
like, and that's really cool. And so yeah, so I just think it's been a beautiful story. And I've been so honored to have you. What has been, let's go with like, what has been your favorite Dandy Fitness memory so far?
Oh my gosh. Like there are so many. Um, actually, you know what? The, the move fit that we did at the gym here in Murfreesboro.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Um, so you guys have seen me on the stories. A
Mhm.
lot of times you have seen my video because I'm the one that's walking around taking
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
videos. And what I would do is like video and then I would take a break and I would
Yes.
dance. So I have like certain songs that are my
Yep.
favorites. And so that day I, did the normal thing. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute. Because Blake was there and he was taking some
Yeah. He's
photos.
seen videos. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I just danced, and
Yeah.
I danced through, like, 3 songs
Yeah.
without stopping or
I love
thinking
it.
about, what my body looked like doing the movements, and
Yeah.
I was in awe of myself.
Yeah, you were just there.
Yeah,
You were just being. And that right there, that's like such a beautiful moment. And that's why I started Indie Fitness because I wanted to not only break the stereotype of what healthy and fit look like, but so that people never had to like they never had to go through what I had to go through. You know what I'm saying?
right.
And I wanted them to get to this point where if they were going through that, I could get them to that like you know what I mean? Like that
Mhm.
just breath of like, okay, I can just be here.
Yeah,
Like, it doesn't matter what I'm wearing. It doesn't matter what he thinks. It doesn't matter what she thinks. It doesn't matter like all the nonsense that people don't even realize that women if to walk to a store, walk into anything, they immediately feel like judgment
and
and about their body or what their hair or this or they should apologize for not wearing makeup or all this nonsense when truly it's like you can't just be and that beauty that you have inside will shine through and it will be you know what I mean and that is where we're changing the situation and so I think that that's awesome and like to feel capable in yourself and to feel successful that is not that comes from functional training that comes from strength training that comes from heart health and just doing your cardio and just feeling good and like and you do so much and I know it's been hard work I know it has been sometimes exhausting and like if anybody could have quit, it definitely could have been you, but you didn't. And it's like and again, I say that because you like you said, you plateaued for so long that most people would have, like, been like, "I'm out," but
yeah,
you what did you do? You got blood tests, you figured out about your hormones, you did all these things to know yourself better and that is where, like, when people are like, "Oh, I just haven't, lost any weight and it's been like a month." I'm like, "Bruh, like, let me tell you, like, you don't even know." Like, you know what I mean? To go talk to the doctor, find out about your hormones, do all these things, and then come back to me.
right.
You see what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and like, let's make sure that we're like on the same page here of like actually what's going on, you know? So I love that. So is there anything that you want to add to the listeners for them to, just to know about you or just about with your journey or with Dandy Fitness or anything that you want to just share?
Obviously,
Mhm.
I love Dani, and I'm a huge supporter. I pretty much rave about you any chance I get.
Oh, kinda like
It's
when I was on the news that one
Oh
time?
my god. It's kind of embarrassing a little bit. I have had people come up to me at your events and be
Yeah.
like, "Oh, you're chasing
Yeah,
fits.
that's
I
awesome.
see you on Danny's stories all the
Yeah.
time." I am honored to be part of your movement, to be part of this and be part of the movement and to be influencing people. And I could not have gotten where I am without you.
I really that means a lot, Lauren, 'cause, I have going on 5 years. I mean, it's just so much has happened, a lot has happened, and I'm so grateful to have a business. I'm so grateful to have people that believe as strongly as you do, and I'm seeing that more and more now that people are really starting to catch on, but like you believed back when still people were kinda like, whatever, and,
Yeah.
like, not really, and that is what that loyalty and, like, that's what that, like, that beautifulness that I love having those people in my circle and keeping that energy and keeping that positivity, And it's rare to find, because people can be, like, about it for a second when things are good, when the cameras are on, when you're on the news, when you're on the billboard, when you're on the whatever, right? But to have that when, like, maybe something's not going on, or, like, maybe
Right.
we're just chilling right now, or, like, maybe she's preparing for a bodybuilding show, or whatever, right? It's like you're always excited, and that keeps me excited, and that keeps me able to, like, be able to love myself throughout and not just think, "Oh, I'm just doing this for everyone else," and, like, not getting my cup filled. So
Right.
that means the world to me. And I really, all your help with everything, like, has made my life easier, especially with my injury and just all of that, and it really has been special. So I really thank you for taking the time to make yourself a priority, but also be a part of the mission. And it will I really do believe that you will continue to grow even more than you think, like, right now. Like, right now, you're on this, like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so great," or whatever, like, I'm doing amazing, whatever, but I'm like, I see you here, but, like, you'll be through the roof. Like, you're only gonna continue to keep getting better,
Yeah.
and I genuinely believe that, and I don't think that you would ever, you know you could ever stop because you're just this is your life.
Right. Like we were talking before,
Mhm.
you create that commitment, you create that routine,
Yeah,
that habit. And we've talked about I have a really hard time about taking unplanned days off
yeah.
because I feel like this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to go to the gym.
Right, right.
But yeah, without that, it would have been really more difficult because you have to create all of these new habits in the
Yeah.
midst of, recovering from a full body surgery.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So I love that. And I thank you so much for coming on today. I appreciate it, girl. And we got lots of awesome things coming up with Dandy Fitness. So stay tuned for that. And the bodybuilding show, Loraine will be there as
Yep.
well. So that is August 20th at the Municipal Auditorium. And so I'm super excited about that. I'll be sponsoring it. She'll be running my booth. And so you can go see her to get some fight samples, get you some grab the gold bars, like whatever we're going to have out there, some sweat towels, everything, and just to talk to her personally and ask her about Dandy Fitness. Or you guys can always message me on Instagram or Chasing Fit as well, and then that way you can just get that real perspective and yeah, learn a little bit more about what we got going on.
All right.
So until next time.